This is Allmankind. I mean, he's been an absolutely fantastic horse for us, winning 2 Grade 1s, one over hurdles and one over fences. As you can see, he's not as big as some of them, but he's got a massive heart, and he never knows when he's beat. Ran a nice comeback race at Chepstow last weekend, and his first sort of main sort of target this year will be the Old Roan Chase at Aintree. He's a horse that just takes their run, as we saw last season when he got beat at Cheltenham first time. So we're very pleased that we got a run into him at Chepstow. But it's a big year for him, and hopefully we can get another Grade 1 to his name. This is Shan Blue, and again, did really well last year as a novice chaser, winning a Grade 1 at Christmas at Kempton, and his first main target this year will be the Charlie Hall. He's done really well around Wetherby, and he's done lots of work, and we feel like he's going into that race very, very fit. We need a bit of rain. It's been a dry autumn, but we're very, very happy with how he is at the minute, and he'll go into the Charlie Hall in the best possible shape he can, and hopefully he can run a big race. So this is Protectorat. He finished last season really well, winning a Grade 1 at Aintree over 2.5 miles. His first sort of main target this season will be the Paddy Power chase at Cheltenham. We'd like to get a run into him beforehand if we could, but we've just slowed down at the minute with the weather. He wants plenty of cut in the ground to be at his best, and last year he did have sort of a blip through the middle of the season, and his wind was catching him out when he was disappointing up at Kelso, but we put that right, and he finished last season on a real high, winning at Aintree. And this year is going to be a big year for him. He's out of novice company for the first time, but we feel he's a horse with a lot of ability, and we're very excited about the season ahead. Should we go in there with him? So this is Nube Negra. Had a great season last year, winning at Kempton. And then went on and ran a great race in the Champion Chase, finishing second. We hope we can go back to Cheltenham this year and go one better, but he'll start off more than likely in the Tingle Creek, ground dependent. We just wouldn't want too deep a ground for him. He's a horse that travels with a lot of pace, and he doesn't want the ground too soft, but I think we'll probably start off there. If not, he'll start at Kempton, the race he won last year, and then on to the Champion Chase, and then probably to Sandown and the Celebration at the end of the year. But he's a horse who likes to be fresh, doesn't want too many races throughout the year, and puts a lot into his races. He's a good slick jumper, and he's definitely getting stronger as he's getting a bit older. As a juvenile, a 3-year-old, he'd travel very well, and sometimes just wasn't quite seeing it out as strong as he could. But as we saw last year, seeing his races out really well now, and he's a high-class horse, and there's no reason why this horse still isn't improving. He's very lightly raced, and we feel there's some unfinished business left to be done. Here is my Drogo. Obviously very exciting for this year, going chasing. We never expected him to do what he did last year in such a short space of time. He made his racecourse debut in a bumper at Cheltenham, finished second, and then went on unbeaten over hurdles in 4 starts at Grade 2, and then went on at the end of the season to win a Grade 1 at Aintree, and he's very exciting for the season. You know, we're just getting him fit. We didn't press on as hard with him, and this one actually, because he came to us back in from his summer holidays a bit later, but we didn't press on as hard with him early on in the season, because we want him to be at his best in March, do you know what I mean, April. So it's when you train, and you know what I mean. We don't want to be putting our foot down now, asking for everything. So my Drogo, I think, you know, once we get some proper rain, we'll see him towards the end of October, early November, and I suppose sort of our first, you know, sort of main race we might be looking towards is probably a novice chase at Cheltenham in December, and then very much with the spring in mind, really. When the daffodils come out, he'll be ready. This is Belle, a very high-class mare, placed in both championship bumpers last year at Cheltenham and Aintree. Obviously we'll go novice hurdling now this season with her. Her schooling's been good. She's got better with the more she's done, and she's ready to go really now towards the end of October, as long as we get some rain. We're hopeful that she'll end up at Cheltenham in March in the Mare's Novice, and yeah, she's a horse with a lot of ability, and we're very excited about getting her going. So this is Fabwa. He's already actually made his chasing debut this year, winning nicely at Uttoxeter with Bridget. He's a horse who takes his racing very well. Last year I think he had 7 runs, never disappointed us at all, and we hope, very hopeful this year that he can make a graded novice chaser. He's a horse who very much saves all his ability for the track. Wouldn't show you an awful lot at home. He keeps a little bit up his sleeve, but that's no bad thing. And he's a horse with a lot of ability, and we hope this year he can make a graded novice chaser. So Midnight River will go over fences this year for the first time. He did really well last year as novice hurdler. We've had him since a 3-year-old. So it's quite nice that he's sort of shown a lot of progression, and we always thought he was a nice horse, and we've been waiting for this time really. Now he's sort of a stronger horse, going chasing. That's always what we hoped he'd do, and he's been schooling very well at home. Very honest, straightforward horse, really good attitude. Anything he sort of lacks in ability, he makes up for his attitude. As we saw at Ascot, he hits the line well. He's a good stayer. I think 2.5 miles is probably his best trip, because he actually got quite a high cruising speed. He goes through a race very well, and he's a good slick jumper. Okay, he fell at Aintree in the spring over 3 miles, but we probably just asked him to go half a mile too long, and it was the back end of his year as well, so could put a line through that, but he scored really well, and we're really looking forward to him. Okay, finds it all a bit easy, doesn't he? Like, he's only a 4-year-old, that he finds it so easy. So the horse here we have in front of us is Harthair Dudery. He won in France on his only start in a French bumper. He's a proper national hunt type of horse. Very good pedigree and a proper jumper for the future. He's shown us a really nice level of ability at home. He's only 4, so this year we won't over race him. He'll tell us when he's ready to run, and once we've got his first run out the way, we'll see where it takes us then. But as you can see, he's quite a tall horse, and being only 4, there's a lot of unfurnished. He's sort of unfurnished sort of horse. He'll strengthen up a bit as he gets a bit older, but he's a horse we really, really like, and certainly one for the future. Black Lion. He's been a real star really of national hunt racing. He hasn't had that many starts for us, but actually ran really well in last year's Grand National. Gave me a great ride round, finished 6th. He'll make his seasonal debut in the Beecher Chase. He's great to have about, and he's he's been a real warrior of his time, and by certainly no means he isn't finished yet, and shows a great enthusiasm for it still.